Hello, Pisces, and welcome in. Maybe you're patting concealer under your eyes right now, or waiting for the kettle to click off, or folding a warm pile of laundry on the end of your bed. Maybe you're already lying down, lights low, letting the day fall off your shoulders. However you got here, I'm glad you came. This is your reading for July 2026, and I want us to take it slow. Let me tell you how this works. There are 3 piles in front of us tonight. Pile A, Pile B, and Pile C. Each pile is named after one big card, one major arcana card, and that card is the main feeling of your whole month. It's the spine of everything. It can also point to one real moment coming for you, the kind of moment you'll remember when you look back at July. Under each big card sit 3 smaller cards. Those show you how the big theme actually plays out in your days, your texts, your work, your home. Here's my promise. Whichever pile you pick, all 4 of its cards together will touch your career or your studies, your love life, and your family. So you won't miss a corner of your life. It's all covered. And you, sweet Pisces, you feel a month before it arrives. You pick up the weather in a room before anyone says a word. So let that gift work for you here. Take one slow breath with me. Let your jaw soften. We're about to choose. Okay, this is the moment you pick your pile. Right now on your screen, you can see the 3 big cards playing side by side. Those are the 3 names you're choosing between. Pile A is the devil. Pile B is the world. Pile C is the moon. Don't think too hard. Take a slow breath in, let your shoulders drop down away from your ears, and just notice which one your eyes keep drifting back to. The one you keep returning to is yours. Take your time, Pisces. There's no rush at all. The devil is the headline of your whole month, Pisces, and here's what it really means for you. There's something you keep going back to, even though it's not good for you. And July is the month you finally see the chain in your own hand, not put there by anyone else, held by you, because some part of you still wants what it offers. What is it you keep choosing, even when it leaves you emptier than before? So settle in, sweet Pile A souls. Maybe you're lying down with the lights low, your phone face down on the blanket, or maybe you're standing at the mirror half finished with your face, looking at yourself a little too long. Wherever you are, take one slow breath with me before we open this one, because the devil asks for honesty, and honesty goes down easier when your shoulders are soft. Look at the card. See the 2 figures standing chained at the foot of the throne. Notice that the chains around their necks are loose. They could lift them off, they could walk, they stay. That's the first thing this card shows you about your July. There's a person, or a habit, or a story you keep telling yourself, and you've been acting like you're stuck when really you're choosing to stay close to the heat. For you, this often looks like love. You build a whole world around someone in your mind. You imagine the future in full color. You decide what it all means before you've checked if they're even in the same room with you emotionally. This month, that fantasy gets loud. You'll catch yourself reaching for your phone to text someone you already know isn't good for your peace. The chain is loose, Pisces. You forget that. Now see the figure on the throne, that big horned shape sitting above them with one hand raised. The card shows a creature that looks powerful, but is really just feeding on their attachment. That's the part of this month where you mistake intensity for closeness. You think because something makes you feel everything, it must matter. But feeling everything and being treated well are not the same, and July hands you a moment where you'll see the difference clearly. This lands hardest in your relationships. The person you've been romanticizing shows you who they actually are, not who you painted them to be, and there's a quiet ache in watching the real version arrive. That's the event this card may be pointing to. A reckoning. You'll know it when it lands because the daydream stops working. You'll try to slip back into the fantasy and it won't hold you anymore. There's money in this card too, and want. The devil loves the quick fix, the thing you buy to feel full, the comfort you reach for at midnight. Watch your spending this month, and watch what you do when you feel low. You're the kind of person who soothes a heavy feeling by disappearing into something pretty. A cart full of things, a drink, a long scroll. None of it is shameful. It just isn't feeding you, and part of July is admitting that out loud. I'm leaning into your love life and your money here, so notice that I haven't fully touched your family yet. The cards underneath this one will carry that, and they'll carry it well. Here's the part that's easy to miss. The devil isn't a punishment. It's a mirror held up close. The figures could step out of those chains any time, and the fact that they haven't isn't weakness. It's just that the familiar feels safer than the unknown. You know this feeling. You'd rather stay in a warm, sad thing than risk a cold, new one. So for today, just notice your hand on the chain. You don't have to drop it yet. Just feel that it's yours. Now look underneath, because the 3 smaller cards tell you how this plays out week by week, and they move together like one story. First, the Knight of Swords. See him on his horse, sword up, charging straight into the wind with his cloak flying behind him. He's all speed and no brakes. Under the Devil, this is the part of you that gets fed up with your own fantasy and overcorrects. You go quiet for weeks. Then one night, you send the blunt text you've been holding back, all of it at once. There's honesty in that, and it's needed. But watch the part where you say the cruelest true thing just to feel powerful for a second. You're someone who avoids conflict by going foggy and vague, so when you finally get direct, it can come out sharper than you mean. Aim for clear, not cutting, and the second card picks that charge up and pulls it backward. The 6 of Cups reversed. The upright card shows children handing each other flowers in a sweet old courtyard, but reversed, that warm memory turns into a place you keep visiting in your head instead of living now. This is where your family comes in, Pisces. There's an old home story, a version of who you were, maybe a parent or a childhood role you keep slipping back into. The Devil and this card together are the same chain. You stay attached to the past because it's familiar, even when it keeps you small. July asks you to set the flower down and walk forward without it. And the third card closes the circle. The 3 of Pentacles upright. See the worker standing on a small bench carving the stone, while 2 others watch and nod at the quality of the work. This is your way out of all of it. After the sharp words, after the homesickness for the past, you build something real with other people. At work, in study, in a project, you get recognized for doing the thing well with care, beside people who actually see you. It's the opposite of the Devil's lonely chain. It's connection that feeds you instead of draining you. So here's the picture. The Knight is your honest charge forward. The 6 reversed is the past you finally release, and the 3 of Pentacles is the steady, seen work that replaces the old comfort. Together they walk you off the throne. This week, do one small thing well, with someone who notices. Let that be enough. The world is closing a long chapter for you this month, Pisces, and it's doing it on purpose. Something you've been carrying for a while is finally reaching its finish line. And this time the ending feels earned, not forced. July hands you a moment of wholeness, where the scattered parts of you start to fit together again. Are you finally ready to call something complete instead of waiting for it to feel perfect? So if you chose pile B, maybe you're sitting somewhere quiet right now. Maybe the dishes are drying and you've got a few minutes that belong only to you. Good. Stay here with me. The World is the big card over your whole month, and she's a generous one. See the figure in the center of the card, the one dancing inside a green wreath, one leg crossed behind the other, a wand in each hand. She isn't rushing, she's already arrived and she knows it. That's you this month? The version of you who stops running toward the next thing long enough to notice you actually made it through the last thing. Look closely and you'll see this isn't only a personal win, it's a cycle ending. The World often marks a real event, a graduation of some kind, even if no one hands you a certificate. It could be finishing a project at work you weren't sure you could pull off. It could be a move, a trip, a goodbye that turns out to be a beginning. You'll know it when it lands because you'll feel strangely calm instead of triumphant. That quiet is the tell. Now notice the 4 figures in the corners of the card, the same 4 faces from the wheel, watching from each direction. They're the witnesses to your growth, the proof that you didn't do this in a vacuum. For you, Pisces, this touches your work and your sense of purpose most of all. You're the kind of person who pours your whole imagination into what you build, who dreams the finished thing in full color before it exists, and then quietly works to make it real. This month, somebody finally sees the thing you made. Your effort gets named out loud. Don't wave it away. You tend to deflect praise because the dreaming felt private, but let this one in. The wreath itself is the second thing I want you to sit with. It's a full circle, closed, complete, tied at the top and bottom with red ribbons. A circle has no loose ends, and that's the medicine here. For so long, you've kept certain doors propped open in your relationships, certain what-ifs, certain people you never fully let go of because you romance the past more than you admit. You replay how a connection used to feel, and you measure today against a memory. The world is asking you to close the circle, not in anger, in peace. To say that was beautiful and it's over. And to mean both halves equally. This lands in your relationships in a real way this month. If you're with someone, this is the month a chapter of your story together completes and a new, more honest one begins. The two of you finally standing on the same page, instead of you quietly building a future in your head and forgetting to ask if they're coming. If you're single, you finish making peace with someone you kept half holding. And that closing is what clears the room for what's next. The one area the world doesn't fully reach on its own is your family and the people who feel like home, and that's exactly where your 3 smaller cards walk in. So hold the picture of that dancer for now. Arms open, the long journey behind her. Here's your quiet line to carry. You're allowed to call it done, even if a part of you wants to keep editing it forever. Underneath the world sit 3 cards that show you how this completing actually plays out day by day, and they tell one story together. First, the 2 of Swords reversed. In the upright card, a woman sits blindfolded with 2 swords crossed over her, stuck, refusing to look. Reversed, that blindfold slips off. You finally see the thing you've been carefully not seeing. For weeks, you've gone foggy when someone asked you a direct question. You've gotten vague on purpose, because clarity meant having to choose. This month you choose, and it feeds the world directly because you can't complete a cycle you won't even look at straight on. That clarity hands you straight to the Queen of Cups, sitting upright with her ornate cup, gazing at it with so much tenderness. This is your gift, Pisces. Your supernatural read on a room, the way you sense someone's mood from one short text and quietly soften before they've said a word. Once the blindfold's off, your empathy stops drowning you and starts steadying you. This is where family comes in, the area the big card left open. You become the calm one at the table this month. Somebody in your home or your chosen family is coming undone, and you hold them without losing yourself in their weather, which you don't always manage. The Queen connects back to the 2 of Swords like this. You can only nurture others well once you've stopped lying to yourself. And the 3rd card closes the circle, the 7 of Pentacles reversed. Upright, a gardener leans on his tool, staring at his plants, waiting. Reversed, he's impatient, frustrated, ready to yank things out of the ground before they're ripe. This is your warning inside all that world completion. You're so close to the finish that you might rush a result, in your work especially, and waste good effort by picking the fruit early. The 2 of Swords gave you clarity, the Queen gave you steadiness, and the 7 says use both to keep your hands still a little longer. The harvest is real. The timing just isn't today. So here's the picture these 3 make together. You see the truth, you hold your people with grace, and you resist the urge to grab the win before it's ripe. That's the whole supporting cast of the world. Clarity, compassion, and patience working as a team. Your small invitation this week. Pick the one thing you keep almost finishing and almost quitting. Don't pull it up by the roots. Water it once more and walk away. The moon is the headline of your whole month, Pisces, and it comes in soft and silver and a little blurry. This is the month where you cannot fully trust the first story your mind hands you. Fear is talking, old worry is talking, and not all of it is true. The moon asks you to walk forward anyway, even when the road is half in shadow. Are you reacting to what is really happening, or to what you are afraid is happening? Maybe you are lying down right now, lights low, phone glowing a little too bright in your hand. Settle in. The moon shows a path running between 2 towers, leading off into the dark, and a dog and a wolf both howling up at the sky. Look at that path first. It is lit, but only just. That is you this month, knowing where you need to go, and still feeling like you are guessing at every step. You will catch yourself reading a message 4 times. Sure, it is colder than it is. You will build a whole worried story about a friend going quiet, when the truth is much smaller and much kinder. The moon is not telling you that you are wrong about everything. It is telling you to slow down before you decide what is true. Now notice the little creature crawling up out of the water at the bottom of the card. That is the fear you thought you had handled, coming back up to be looked at again. For you, Pisces, this is the way your mind drifts somewhere else, even when your body is right there in the room. Someone will be talking to you this month, and you will be miles away inside your own head, already 3 chapters into a story that has not happened. That fog is your old way of dodging a hard feeling. The moon is asking you to stay, just a little longer than is comfortable. This lands most heavily in your relationships and inside your own family ties. With someone you love, you may feel a distance that is not really there, and the danger is that you act on the fear instead of asking the simple question. You start pulling back to protect yourself from a goodbye nobody is planning. With family, an old worry rises up, maybe about being the one who holds everyone together, maybe about a closeness that has gone a little cool. You will want to fill the silence with a story. Try instead to just ask what is actually going on. The event the moon often marks is a moment of confusion that turns, near the end of the month, into clarity. Something you have been unsure about, something you could not quite see straight, starts to come clear. You will know it has landed when you stop guessing and finally just ask, and the answer is gentler than the version you built in the dark. The thing you feared was rejection turns out to be someone who is tired, or scared in their own way, or simply waiting for you to speak first. Here is the tender part, Pisces. Your imagination is one of the most beautiful things about you. You can dream up a whole future in full color. But this month, that same gift can scare you, because it paints the bad endings just as vividly as the good ones. The moon is not asking you to stop feeling. It is asking you to notice when you have left the room and gone wandering in a story, and to come back and check it against what is real. So when the worry rises this month, do this one small thing. Before you decide what someone meant, ask them. Before you decide it is falling apart, look at what is actually in front of you. The dark on this card is not danger. It is just the part you cannot see yet. Take care of your tender mind this month, Pisces. Not everything that feels true at midnight is true in the morning. Underneath the moon sit 3 cards, and together they show you exactly where the fog wants to fool you. The first is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. In the upright card, a hand offers a golden coin, a real solid start. Turned over, that coin slips through the fingers. This is the month where a money chance or a work opening feels slow, blocked, or just out of reach, and your scarcity worry whispers that it will never come. Watch how this feeds the moon. The fear is not fact. A delay is not a no. You may convince yourself an opportunity is gone when it is only late. That worry rolls straight into the second card, the Page of Wands reversed. Upright, he is a young figure staring at a sprouting wand, full of spark. Reversed, that spark fizzles into restlessness and bad timing. You will feel the urge to act fast, to fire off the text, to quit the thing, to make a sudden move just to escape the not knowing. And here is where it ties back to the ace. Acting hasty out of fear is exactly how a slow opportunity gets thrown away for good. This is your old habit of suffering out loud instead of saying the plain thing you need. You go quiet and heavy and hope someone notices, when one honest sentence would clear the air. The third card closes the circle, the 10 of Cups reversed. Upright, it is a happy family under a rainbow. Turned over, the rainbow dims, and there is a gap between how things look and how they feel. This is the family note the moon has been pointing at all month. At home, or with the people who feel like home, there may be a strain under the smiles, a pretending that everything is fine. You feel it because you feel everything. The risk is that you soak up all that heaviness like a sponge and then quietly resent carrying it. See how they link. The ace stirs the money fear, the page tempts you to react too fast, and the 10 shows the home where all this worry echoes loudest. 3 cards, 1 warning from the moon. Do not let fear write the ending before the real story has finished. So here is your small invitation for the week, Pisces. Pick the one thing you have been quietly dreading and ask a plain question about it. About the money, about the person, about the mood at home. Say the honest sentence instead of waiting to be read. You will be surprised how much lighter the truth is than the story. Thank you for spending this slow part of your day with me, Pisces. Whether you landed in pile A, pile B, or pile C, your July is being held with care, and so are you. My quiet wish for you this month is this. May you learn to tell the difference between a feeling and a fact, and may you stay long enough in the hard moment to find out the truth is kinder than the story you feared. Your tenderness is not a weakness, it is your gift. This month just asks you to point it at what is real. If it feels right, subscribe so next month's reading finds its way back to you. No rush, no pressure. And save this video. Come back to your pile whenever the fog rolls in and you need a steadier voice. Until next month, Pisces, you are loved.